For years, nobody ever understood what I was doing. But I was fine because I knew that I need to go through the study and the research of what could define my photography completely different. And now today I have the result. I engage myself into a social science study where all my peers and all the women around me becomes my subject. I love them, I know them, they're my friends. I become very connected with their change, with their transformation, with their birth. Like a lot of them have kids. So people doesn't mention that in my work yet still, and I hope they're gonna mention, but 85-90% of my work is not for the industry. I call myself a photographer, but it's reducing the function of the work itself, because photographers are taking pictures and giving life to you. I want to give back to you. Thank you.
You've been spending 10 years working with women, and your work was about women.
Yeah.
What is the transformation? What was the change you wanted to add? What was your contribution?
I mean, I had to experience it first before, that's what I'm saying is like I had a completion of this because I accomplished it and I experienced it spiritually when I did Women of New York. So when Trump got president, I had question about my work. I'm like, it's not good enough. Why? Because he's there. And no, but that was honest.
No,
The honesty, it's like it needs to get better. Why? Because he's there. He's there, so the patriarchal and the energy of the masculine has become too big right now. Like, how I can be myself, transforming something in me who actually want to break through again. I didn't break through enough. And it's a deal with yourself, but it's like honesty of yourself about it. So what I did, I did this Women of New York, where I was obsessed with this project where I will have to photograph women who wants me to photograph them. I can't ask anymore. I'm not going to choose the woman. I'm not the one who's going to choose her like the man does. I need to break into the aesthetic of choosing who is more beautiful for me. And that's the masculine energy. I am not the judge, and that's the masculine energy. Masculine energy is the judge. No, the masculine energy is judge. You better. You this. You that. So that's what we have a lot today. It's like very, very ugly energy. So if I have to stay away from judging, I have to allow those women to come to my space and ask me, and I'm a devotee to them. So I photographed 140 women. That was an addiction. Like it's like becomes kind of my prayer. I was not making so much money at the time, and I need to have some help. But something will like push me to go through those numbers because I could not achieve the awakening. So but I didn't know at the time. I was doing it and I'm like, oh my God, hopefully it's gonna stop before 500. Like I was doing 60 and then I would keep doing it, and suddenly I'm 140. That was the number. I wake up one day and I couldn't, like people would keep like asking me, right? And I'm like, no, it's not going to stop. Why? Because I understood. And what I understood is the process of giving unconditionally to people that you never met and you have no judgment about their physical form will make you and them part of collective consciousness. So the togetherness and the oneness of the I and the 140I, if I put the picture together, you understand what I mean. You keep turning the page and you stop to see colors and not gender, but you only feel the feminine form, but that's it. And you keep seeing it, and suddenly all those women together were actually building an army of the feminine energy beyond their color. And that was my goal. My goal is like I transcend with them, shooting and photographing them in black and white, and I experience it. It works. It works. Like I work on my empathy and compassion and acceptance. I listen to those women's story, every single one of them. And through the listening, I lost myself. I lost the ego. And that was the hardest part. That was after Trump. After Trump, I still had too much ego. That's the blueprint. The blueprint is like, with this work of 10 years, I come to an understanding of the feminine energy wants absolutely, by any means necessary, of the dismantlement of the greedy vision of the patriarchal society. She's asking for attention, and a lot of attention. She's asking for warriors, for healers, for teachers, for mothers to wake up right now.
And you were telling us before that now you're ready to work with men.
Yeah.
And what is it about? What is the shift? What do you want?
The non-separation of the masculine and the feminine again. Formless. The formless asking for attention. So the formless is like wherever you form, feminine energy needs to expand. And the only way it can expand is through the feminine to the masculine, to the masculine to the feminine, to the men. It's like an infinite.
Mm-hmm.
So because I dedicate 10 years of working with women, which I'm going to keep doing it, I am finding now a project where I find those magic men. I call them the magic men. This man was awake, completely aware of the feminine within him and within me. So I'm pleased to ask him for expanding the vision. Please, could we work together? And we did, and it was beautiful because there is no ego. That's what I'm saying, like the right feminine and masculine energy has no ego anymore. I think this is one of the best century for releasing the art of the feminine. And it can be a man who's doing it, I'm saying. The art of the feminine energy, worldwide. Like full wing spread, like a phoenix coming back and sitting, and staring at you and saying, can we talk about what you've not been doing? Integrity, dignity, compassion, empathy, expressing the work of art with less insanity and less darkness.
So I feel like what you're telling me in a way is through your art, you're calling a sort of liberation of the feminine energy, but as well for women to wake up to take their role.
Take their role, like stop to be, don't lack of courage. We need your courage right now more than ever.
I feel even, I always ask the question around feminism because that was one of my biggest question is, how do you feel, what is your relationship to feminism?
I don't feel disconnected because I work, it's like I have a lot of issue in society to be higher because I'm a woman, and a woman of color is even worse. Nobody wants to give you 100K for an ad campaign, this is not in their, conscious, like they're not conscious. It's like why we should pay $100,000 Delphine Diallo for a Gap campaign. She's black woman, it's weird. Like, we never had to do that before. But so the fact that I'm aware of it, I am not angry. So the relationship that I have with the feminist is I'm looking at feminists from an outside observer. I'm an outsider looking at it and seeing the steps and the positivity as well that the movement did with the gay movement in the 60s and 70s, and especially in the 80s when AIDS came out, and especially in the white movement more than the black movement. So I felt still happy that it happened in certain ways. I'm not going to say I'm against the feminists and stuff, but I felt they were still against me. And right now I'm trying to consolidate reconciliation, and the reconciliation, the togetherness, the oneness, the collective consciousness is not being brought by the feminist conversation. It was helping only women to get a voting, to get recognized. Now we need to expand the idea of the feminist to the idea of the feminine energies healing everybody in society. But because you can be a woman, again, you can be a woman and never hire me. which you do.
Mm.
So this is where I don't care about the feminists if it doesn't come to a space where it gives opportunities to everyone. And that's the result of a society today. We don't still enough opportunities to minority women, because unconsciously we don't think they cannot deserve it, because we never actually have this type of a model outside of a black model and a black actress and a black musician. White supremacy dividing us. We need to learn that, and because they're dividing us, this is where we have to learn to be together. If I'm telling you that you tell me, oh, you have so much success, you have this, this, and this, but you're not realizing that I'm lacking of opportunities with my other peers, like black young women that I'm telling you, I don't want to tell you, I wish you can realize it. Because I had to work 3 or 4 times better than everybody else to just be able to see my work. And thanks again social media to acknowledge it. Because if I wouldn't have social media, I would not be there today.
The one thing I wanted to go back to your mother, and I'm still struck by, she was telling you I was weak, I don't want you, I do everything for you to not be. So what would you say now, or what are you telling her today?
Mom, you did an amazing job. You're amazing. I think she's the most amazing chef shifter that I ever met. She's a trickster, number one. She did it, you know? So I have so much respect for my mom, because without not knowing and without being aware that she gave me one of the most amazing gifts that a lot of people would love to have, I have to accept it fully on right now. That's why I'm doing it. It's because, Mom, I really respect what you gave me, and I make sure that for the rest of my life it's gonna keep expanding, because it's very, very vivid, and I can recognize it now.
I love that picture of you with the snake. It's so powerful. It just says so much.
What is
about
it? I mean, for
you know
what is
the
it?
power of woman. For me, it's like finally I see a picture that is.
You understand it, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely. First of all, the snake. I don't even know how you did that, because I have such a fear of snakes.
I did. I had the fear before.
And
but
it's huge.
You had a fear, and then again through life I have to transcend like my fear, because they're not serving me anymore. The feminine energy and the snake are completely melting, because they actually have the same force. Okay, the snake is moving like this, right? But the woman brain is like this. Keep coming back, and you don't know where it's going. That's the feminine. It keeps moving. It's like water.